Hello, and my name is Andre Theodore, and today we are going to install and configure dhcp on our server, that is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. dhcp is a server service that will let you automatically provide network configuration to client computers on your network. dhcp will provide your client computer with an IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. So now we are going to install this server role. To do this, go to Start, Server Manager, click on Roles, and then click on Add Roles, click on Server Roles, and here you will see a list of the roles that your server can provide, and go down to the dhcp server, click in the checkbox, and when this initializes you will see a short list of the different stages of the configuration process. Now go ahead and click Next. Now you're going to be asked a few questions about the install to configure it, so go ahead and click Next. So this is the IP address that is going to bind with your server. In other words, this is the IP address of your dhcp server. Go ahead and click Next. Here you would see your parent domain. Mine is ironstone.com. Yours would be whatever you named it. And here you have the address of your preferred DNS server. This is mine, and you could always click on the validate button to make sure this is correct. And you also have a secondary DNS server address. I don't have any at the moment, but you can always come back after the configuration and go back in here and put in a secondary IP for your DNS server. So now go ahead and click Next. Here you can set a Wins server if you're using one. Wins is Microsoft named resolution software. Before Microsoft switched to DNS when Windows Server 2000 was introduced. Your network might not have this, so you can leave. So go ahead and click Next. And here you could set up your scope. A scope is simply a range of IP addresses that will be used for your clients. So go ahead and click Add. And here you will proceed to name your scope. I'll probably call mine General. And here you can put in a starting IP address. Let's try 10.0. Let's try 10.0.2.100 up to 10.0.2.200. So my scope is going to give out IP addresses between 100 and 200, and here I will enter the subnet mask, same as my server, and you can put in the default gateway, which is optional, but I will put it in anyway. 10.0.2.2. Alright, and go ahead and click on Next. Make sure Activate Scope is checked. Okay, and then go Next. And here deals with dhcp version 6 or TCP version 6. We won't be using TCP IP version 6 or DHCP version 6, so we will disable this and go ahead and click on Next. And here they're asking for you to authorize this dhcp server in Active Directory, so it will be authorized to give out IP addresses to your clients. So I will use these credentials right here, and I will go ahead and click next. And here, just confirm your information that you have entered. If anything here is not correct, you could always go back and configure or add it in, and go ahead and click install. Alright, this install will take some time depending on the speed of your machine. So I will speed up this process here for now. Now the installation has finished, and it says the dhcp server installation succeeded. So now I will go ahead and click on close. So that has finished. So now if I go to start administrative tools, here you will see added to the list of items we have here, you will see dhcp. Go ahead and click on it, and here you can do further configurations or changes to your dhcp settings, and you can also right click here. You can also click here on the drop down list, and you will see IP version 4 and IP version 6. Of course we will be dealing with IP version 4. And if you right click here on this name of the server, you will see add or remove bindings. Remember, this address is like the interface where the server will listen and respond to requests. So now if you right click on dhcp, here you can add another dhcp server, and you can also manage the servers. You can authorize or unauthorize a dhcp server from giving out IP addresses on your network. So this is fine. I will leave this as it is. So now if I click the plus sign, and here you see my scope. If you right click on it and go to properties, here you will have some very interesting options under the general tab. Here you can set a lease time for your dhcp clients that is receiving an IP address from your server. So if you have a lot of permanent client computers that never moves, you could probably set this up to 30 days, maybe more. But if you have a lot of temporary clients that comes in and out, you might want to set this down to maybe hours or days, so that your IP addresses, all your IP addresses, don't get used up. And what's going to happen here, I'm going to leave this as it is, and at the half mark, at the 3-day mark, it says 6 days, so the 3-day mark, the half mark will be the 3-day mark. On the 3-day mark, the client computer is going to send a request out to the server saying, hey, can I keep this IP address? And the dhcp server will say, well, yeah, it's okay, you can keep this address, no one else needs it right now. So this is how the lease will work. It's, as it says, a lease. It's an address assigned to your client computers for a limited amount of time, which you have total control of. So now we'll just click OK. So now if you just right click on your server here and go down to its properties, you would see the database path and the backup path. Some of you may want to change this path and browse to another machine so that you get a better redundancy. I will leave this as it is for now. So now if you right click on the server again and you go to all tasks, here you can see you can stop, pause, or even restart the service. Sometimes this is needed, but as Microsoft has updated and improved its Windows Server performance, you would find that you might not need to do this, but I'm just showing you the options anyway if there's ever a need to restart the DHCP server. So now I am going to show you something else. If you click on your server, go ahead and double click on IP version 4 and double click on scope, come down to reservations. Well, of course here you see a whole lot of other options: the address pool, the address leases, which we have already dealt with. Now let's go to reservations, right click on reservations and set new reservation. Now what reservation is that you are reserving a particular IP address for certain computers. You might want to do this for maybe a print server, a printer, or a special client you have coming in. I recommend that you set this address outside of your scope or outside of the range of addresses you made earlier. That will make things a whole lot easier. So you put in a reservation name, the special IP address that you like, and the MAC address of that computer, description, and just click add. Well, I don't need to do this right now, so I'll just close this and go back here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to show you how you could change the scope. Just right click on it and go to properties, and as you can see, I already changed the scope from what I configured earlier when I was showing you. It's now 10.0.2.30 is my starting IP address, and my ending IP address is 10.0.2.90. So now I'm leaving the lease time as 6 days as well. So you can see there's a lot of options here to go back in and configure. And so now what I want to go to show you, we're going to go to the client machine, and I'm going to demonstrate how the client machine will receive an IP from this DHCP server, which is the gateway. So here I am on my Windows 7 client on the same domain as my DHCP server. So if I just go to start and type run, RUN, and type CMD in the text box and press enter, my command prompt would come up, and I'm just going to do IP config, and as you can see, my DNS suffix says I'm on the ironStorm.com domain, and you see my IP version 4 is 10.0.2.30, which is within the range that I did set along with the subnet mask, and the default gateway is the gateway of my DHCP server. So yes, the DHCP server is giving me an address. It is leasing this address, and my address is being leased every 6 days. And if you would go to network settings and go change adapter settings and right click on the adapter, the network adapter, and go to properties, go to the properties of TCP IP version 4, and it is set to obtain IP address automatically, and I did set the DNS server to be the same as the DHCP server as well. So now we're just going to go quickly back to our Windows Server 2008, where I'm going to show you the record of this machine leasing an address from the DHCP server. let's double check the name of this machine. Just right click, computer properties, and it is computer name is 7, so we'll check the DHCP server for that name. So we are back on our DHCP server, and just gonna click the plus sign on IP version 4 and click the plus sign on scope, and we'll just check address license. And as you can see, client IP address that we just checked on the 7 Vista client, 7 Windows 7 client, 10.0.2.30 is the IP address. Name of my Windows 7 machine is 7 on the ironstorm.com domain, and the date for the list, the day the list started, and the time as well. It started December 26th at 3:48 p.m. And that's it in how we configure our DHCP server. So you could go ahead and try this and enjoy.